How much has Disney changed in 10 years? Kind of a lot. Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Today I have a really fun video that was actually a request. Somebody left me a comment recently saying that he is going with his girlfriend pretty soon this year to Disney World. They haven't been since they were younger kids. It's been about 10 years since they've been in the parks. And he wanted to know how much have the parks changed since he's been there. And doing some of my research, kind of a lot, depending on the park. So this request comes from Ian Aronoff. Thank you, Ian, for asking me this question because it was really fun to look into. So I'm gonna go into how it's changed as much as I possibly can in terms of like what rides have closed and which ones have opened and like all of that good stuff. It might not be totally exhaustive, but I have a pretty good list of a lot of stuff that's changed. I might be missing a few things. I'm sure a lot of my fellow Disney geeks can help me out if I am. You can always let me know in the comments below what I missed. But yeah, let's just get started with some of the major things. So 10 years ago was 2007, which is kind of crazy to think about. To put it in perspective and to date myself, I was in college at that time. I was in my junior year of college, and was actually about a year away from being a cast member at the World of Disney. And it was a while ago. And for the parks, there's actually a lot of stuff that happened that year. So I don't know, Ian, when you went in 2007-ish. So you may have experienced some of the new things that opened then, or maybe not even yet, depending on when you went. So first, there was a really big closure in 2007, and that was of the Wonders of Life Pavilion in Epcot, which now they sometimes reopen when they're doing Flower and Garden Festival to have it as like an extra festival area, but it was officially closed in January of 2007. So I can't believe it's already been 10 years, but it has been 10 years since that's been closed. There were a few other cool changes in Epcot that actually happened in 2007. So the Seas got rededicated as the Seas with Nemo and Friends, and the new, ride, the Seas with Nemo and Friends, came out, and the whole new theming with Turtle Talk, with Crush, all of that came out. There was a whole dedication to it in 2007, so that was a big change. Another big change was the Mexico River ride changed into the Grand Fiesta Tour and added Donald and the Three Caballeros into it, into what the ride is today. So that actually also happened in 2007. If you remember before, that ride was a little bit straight and narrow, history of Mexico. I did enjoy that ride for what it was educationally, but now they've added in some characters, made it a little bit more lively. They've got some great animatronics at the end of it of the Three Caballeros, and overall I just think it's a more interesting ride. So that also happened in 2007. If we skip on over to the Magic Kingdom, in 2007, that was the year when they added the new scenes to Haunted Mansion that we have now. So that would be the upside down staircases with the footprints on it, and that would also be the scene in the attic with the Killer Bride, which is one of my favorite scenes. The ballroom has always been my favorite scene, but that one is a very, very close second. So they did that whole refurb, added new scenes, and then, obviously also spruced up everything else. The other last big change in 2007, or big announcement as it were, was that MGM no longer had their contract with Disney, and so MGM Studios as of 2008 was going to no longer be called that, but was just going to be called Disney's Hollywood Studios. So yes guys, it's been almost 10 years since that change, and I still, in the back of my mind, call it MGM all the time. Cool, so those are some big things that happened like in 2007, but since 2007, what has changed in the park? So I'm gonna go over a few bigger things, park by park. Magic Kingdom, you now have New Fantasyland, which is an extension of the original Fantasyland, and you've got, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you've got Storytime with Belle, you've got that whole section, the whole like Gaston's Tavern section, and all of that was being built and has since debuted. So if you haven't done Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which I guess you haven't, Ian, the person who's been asking, do it for sure. I recommend either getting Fast Pass or rope dropping for it. It's totally worth it. The theming is fantastic. One ride that is gone is Snow White's Scary Adventures. So if you have memories of riding that, that is no more. That closed down a few years ago. It still exists in Disneyland, but you will not be finding it in Fantasyland. Another thing that has changed that is no more is fairly recent. There's no more Wishes. It's now Happily Ever After, this new fireworks show that just debuted a couple months ago. There is also no more parade, at least not a nighttime parade. There is the 3 o'clock parade, Festival of Fantasy, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it's their best midday parade they've had in a long time. But they don't have a nighttime parade currently. They moved Main Street Electrical Parade to Disneyland, and currently there's just nothing in its place. There's a lot of speculation about what's gonna happen. Is there gonna be a new one? I've heard rumors that part of it is them trying to figure out the crowd control for Happily Ever After, as well as the projection show, Once Upon a Time. They're having a little bit of an issue with like moving people out of the hub area and all of that, and so I imagine it would only be worse with the nighttime parade. I'm sure this lull won't last forever, but if you're going soon, at least within this year, as far as we know, there's just not gonna be a nighttime parade. And there's a whole section that is gone and different now. So Toontown, no more. That actually existed in 2007, you guys. It was still there. Now it is like that big, I'm terrible, I'm not gonna know the name of it off the top of my head because I don't go to it much, but the whole circus area, somebody tell me in the comments below the name of it officially. It's really cool. I mean, you know, it's definitely, Toontown needed a little bit of a change. It's been there for a really long time, since the 80s. Fun fact, it was not really supposed to hang around. It was built for Mickey Mouse's birthday in the 80s. It was called Mickey Mouse's Birthday Land, turned into Toontown, and kind of just stuck around for a lot of freaking years. So it was never meant to be there for like a long period of time. So they changed it to this like big top circus. You could still meet characters there. It's still got this cool like younger kid vibe. Dumbo is there, you know, the Barnstormer is there. But it is a totally different area, so I'd recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, moving on to Hollywood Studios. This is probably the one with the biggest changes because right now it's a hot mess. I'm sure you've heard about, you know, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land coming out, and all of these rides have closed and more are closing, and it is a big like construction mess right now. So this is like the biggest change, also because it's in such a state of transformation, so it's gonna really be weird to you when you go. Sounds Dangerous, gone, probably for the best. Lights, Motors, Action, Stunt Show, gone, also probably for the best. Backlot Tour, gone, I Miss It tier, no longer there either. The Magic of Disney Animation is also gone. You can no longer see that or go in and get those drawing lessons, which also makes me a little sad, but that is also gone. Great Movie Ride is closing down. This is a new one. They just announced for sure that a Mickey Mouse ride is going to be moving into the Chinese Theater. Great Movie Ride is going to be closing down in August for good. If you get there before then, you'll be able to catch it. If you don't, I'm sorry, you're kind of out of luck. I will say if you do get there before it closes, that there still has been changes to the Great Movie Ride. It is less about the cast member narrating. Now there is a narration, like voiceover, the end, cinematic montage has changed. So there are differences if you do get to catch it before it closes, but otherwise it will be closed when you go to make way for this new animated Mickey Focus ride. So what is in the place of all of these things? Well, Star Tours still exists and now it has new scenes. So you will see scenes from the latest movie. They're gonna be continuing to add more from like episode 8 and 9 as they come out. So that'll be really fun and new to you. You also have Toy Story Midway Mania that has taken up a lot of the animation area. And that ride is really cool. They only just recently added another track so that now wait times are a lot better. So I would definitely check it out, especially if you're into like gaming and stuff. It's like a competitive 3D gaming experience. It's really, really cool. You also have Star Wars Launch Bay that is now in the animation courtyard area. That is where you can meet and greet Chewbacca, Kylo Ren, and now BB-8. You can see props from the movies. It's kind of just like a big indoor area that you can do these things. You will also notice walking around, due to all the construction, that whole areas are missing. There's no more New York Street, no more Hollywood Street, no more Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground. That whole area is just like destroyed right now because they're working on the new expansions. So don't expect to see any of that. Muppets 3D still exists, you can get to it, it's just in a weird one-directional kind of way. There also are no longer those midday parades, but they do have Symphony in the Sky, which is their Star Wars fireworks show, so that might be something to check out if you're into Star Wars. I feel like Hollywood Studios is definitely for the Star Wars lover right now, especially with everything else that's kind of been shut down. That's a lot of the stuff that's been around and new and added, and obviously it's only gonna get more so with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Phantasmic is still there, it's the same as always, so if that's something you're looking forward to, don't worry, still there, but a lot of the other like nighttime show entertainment, the parades, have changed a lot. Whew. So that was a lot. Hollywood Studios has a lot going on and a lot has changed. Oh, and I didn't even mention, they got rid of the hat. They got rid of the Mickey Sorcerer's hat, and I think it's great because I think the Chinese theater is a great weenie, as Walt referred to it. If you don't know what a weenie is, I'm gonna leave a link down below to a little educational link for you on what that means. I'm not gonna get into it right now. But it is a great focal point when you walk into the parks. I feel like the hat kind of took away from it. That's gone, no longer there. They do have a stage in the front where they do this like Star Wars stage show where these characters come out. That has never been there back in 2007. Like I said, Hollywood Studios altogether is just like a Star Wars line. Let's just call it what it is. Let's hop over to Epcot, where a lot less has changed. There's been changes, but it's a lot less. So like I said before, Wonders of Life Pavilion did close, and that's probably the biggest change in the past 10 years. Other than that, looking at World Showcase, not much has changed, though you will find that the streetmosphere and the artists and the music that you see in each country is very different. Disney's constantly changing the performers that they have. I think some of the only things that have really stuck around are like the Chinese acrobats, but they are constantly changing the kind of performances you find in a variety of the other countries. As far as other major closings from 2007, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience is no more. That closed a while ago, and probably for the better because it was kind of getting old there. So originally I was going to mention Captain EO, but then I realized it wasn't actually open in 2007. I believe they brought it back in 2009, so it didn't even like exist for that time period, so I couldn't even say that that was like closed. I mean, it has been, but you probably didn't see it back when you went. So sorry, you just completely missed Michael Jackson in all of his amazing musical 3D glory. You should totally watch it on YouTube though, it's great. As mentioned, the Living Seas is totally different now. I would totally check that out, especially if you like Nemo, but even if you don't, like, I like Nemo, I'm not like crazy about Nemo, but I enjoy the ride to get into the area. I enjoy Troll Talk with Crush. I don't want to give away the fun of that, but it's a really, really cool experience. And then two other big changes that happened fairly recently, within the past year or so. Frozen Ever After was opened. It is now in Norway, where the old Norway ride used to be. So that is very different. It's a really cool ride. It's definitely worth the wait if the wait is not more than an hour, even that's all 45 minutes, because the animatronics on that and the projections on the animatronics are really, really cool. So it's a really fun experience. And then another recent change was that they changed Soarin'. It is no longer Soarin' over California, it's Soarin' around the world. So totally new video, new smells, new music, sort of. So that will be a totally different experience. And then lastly, Animal Kingdom. What has changed in Animal Kingdom in the past 10 years? Aside from Pandora, which is a huge change, not much. There's a big change now with it having extended hours that go into the evening. I'm sure when you went, you probably remember Animal Kingdom closed at like 5:30, and then you're like, what do I do now? I need to like go to another park. They've extended it so that they have nighttime hours, and with that, they have a new night show called Rivers of Light. They have something called the Tree of Life Awakenings, which is like an ongoing projection show on the tree at night. They have these dusk safaris, So basically, as it gets darker, they're able to turn on these lights that make the animals think that it's like perpetually dusk, so that they are more active, so you can see the animals at nighttime, which is really cool. And then of course, Pandora, which is the brand new land that just opened, also known as Avatar Land. And a part of the reason why they've extended hours even more is, one, to deal with the rush of people going there, but also apparently the experience at night there is a little bit different from the daytime, because the whole land of Pandora is full of bioluminescent plant life, and you get to really check that out and see how pretty it is at night. So they do have like crazy extended extra magic hours. I think that go to about midnight right now. I wish I could give you more on that. I haven't seen Pandora yet. I'm about to, but yeah, so that's, I mean, obviously the really big new change. Aside from that, there hasn't been too much change since 10 years ago. There haven't really been any major closings. I know that there's rumblings of certain things disappearing, but they haven't yet. So a lot of it's gonna be the same to you. I think the biggest change for you is going to be Pandora. I mean, you still have Nemo musical, you still have Festival of the Lion King, Dinosaur, Everest, Cali River Rapids, all of that is the same. You just now have more of this extended nighttime experience and Pandora to look forward to. Oh my God, guys, that was a lot. That was so much has changed in 10 years. And it's kind of cool to see because, you know, I always say that I am a big proponent of change. I know with recent D23 news, some people feel like their nostalgia is being attacked a little bit. I think Disney has always been changing, and when you even look at the past 10 years, how much it's changed just in that time frame has been phenomenal. And if you look at how much Disney World has changed since its inception, it's been phenomenal. So I'm all for the new changes. I think that's gonna be really cool, and it's kind of amazing how much they've done in 10 years. And you know, how much they keep around because it does well. There you have it. That's all the things that I could really think of that have changed since 10 years ago. I am sure I'm missing things, and I'm sure I'm missing things outside of the parks, like resort stuff. I mean, there are resorts now with like new cool rooms, and like the Polynesian has like the crazy bungalow things. Like there's a lot of other change outside of just the parks, but I wanted to focus on that since that is your main focus for your trip. Thank you so much, Ian, for the question. It was super fun to like do a little research and look into. But thank you for asking it. I hope you have a fantastic trip. It's gonna be different, but it's gonna be great. It's still gonna be all the Disney magic that you had 10 years ago. If anyone else has any other questions or ideas for videos, anything else you want me to answer, let me know in the comments below. I would love to do it. If you liked me, then please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I try to put out 2 to 3 videos a week, mostly Disney, some vlogs, some wedding planning stuff. It's a little all over the place. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And I appreciate, as always, watching another video. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.